So let's talk about week 2, recovering a sense of identity. This, we're going to do a recap, but it was hard to fully follow what Julia was saying. Something that I did notice is that she starts the book off saying recovering a sense of identity. And she says the following. She says, going sane. Trusting our creativity is new behavior for many of us. It may feel quite threatening initially, not only to us, but also to our intimates. I don't got no intimates because I don't got friends right now by choice. But what's interesting is that that is one of the first and only times that she talks about recovering a sense of identity. The rest of the book is talked about poisonous playmates, crazy makers, the enemy within, skepticism, and paying attention. How all these go together, I didn't fully understand. But what I did get is that she was highlighting how there are external forces that impact and influence our identity and our self-concept. Julia warned us that we would experience skepticism this week because it's just a part of the recovery process, that the critics get louder when you are on your healing journey. And boy, oh boy, did I hear a lot of skepticism. I heard a lot of critiques. I had a lot of doubt. I was like, why am I doing this? Is this even gonna work? Then I had doubts about comedy. I was like, why do I want to do comedy so bad? Why do I believe that need? Like, what's so special about me that I can make a career out of comedy? Like, just get a regular job. Like, I'm not really meant to be nothing. Like, all these negative things came into my mind, and I'm hypercritical on myself. I grew up with a lot of criticism, but this is the first time where I actually was able to feel how shitty these voices, these lies, right, in my head, like I didn't feel good, and I was getting aggravated because I didn't want to think this way. I'm like, could y'all shut up? Like, y'all some haters for real. Just let me live. She says that these poisonous playmates are people that are basically negative Nancy's. You feel me? Like, they themselves are stuck and are blocked, and being blocked serves them. So they want you to be blocked too. So basically, misery wants company. Then she talks about crazy makers, and crazy makers are the people who want to essentially sabotage you, who want to add more stress to your life. And that in itself is a distraction. I don't want to feel this way at all. I don't want to feel like this heaviness of critique. And that's where I made the decision that I want to start doing mini compassion check-ins where I'm being more compassionate and I'm reframing constantly the skepticism that's coming up, because it's not nice. Like, this little bully inside me is not nice at all. I wouldn't talk this way to somebody else. So this is what Julia says about crazy makers. If you are involved now with a crazy maker, it is very important that you admit this fact. Admit that you are being used, and admit that you are using your own abuser. Your crazy maker is a block you chose yourself to deter you from your own trajectory. As much as you are being exploited by your crazy maker, you too are using the person to block your creative flow. If you are involved in a tortured tango with a crazy maker, stop dancing to his or her tune. Pick up a book on codependency, or go get yourself a 12-step program for relationship addiction. This is so aligned because during week 1, I was facing my self-worth issues, and my self-worth issues pointed to me experiencing love deprivation, which then created a series of unhealthy relationships with crazy makers. I think that crazy makers is another word for narcissist. And I dated a crazy maker or two. And this week started with me having to let go fully of my little yeah, who is one of my favorite eaters because she is a crazy maker. Okay? So this week started off with a lot of rage. It started off with setting boundaries. And it started off with making really big decisions and commitments, like me committing to my apartment that I'm in right now. I was in between two places and I didn't know if I was going to choose this place. And I had to tell someone what my decision was going to be, and I finally did it on Monday. So that's two big decisions. And then the other big decision that I made is I said, what if I just went all in on this creative life? What if I shamelessly pursue a creative comedy career with audacity and nerve? What could happen? I'm taking a note from Shameless Maya. What would happen if I just went all in on comedy? I decided that I was going to commit to a schedule of being at the open mics, and that the next 365 days is going to be nothing but comedy, from sketches, from stand-up comedy, from writing, from blogs. Everything is going to be comedy because I am a creative, I am an artist, and my medium is comedy, okay? So I made that decision, I wrote a contract, I'm all in. I was so mad with God this week because I'm so poor. I have never experienced this level of poverty. I had to go to the plasma center on Thursday so I can be able to make payments to my storage unit. I can't even access the stuff in my storage unit, which means I don't have everything I need in my new apartment because I'm behind. But I'm trying to practice gratitude because I have a roof over my head, I have clothes on my back, I have some money, you know, but poverty is a crazy maker too. Extreme poverty is a crazy maker, and having to sell part of my body at the plasma center for only $45 is dehumanizing. And I remember walking out of that plasma center and I'm like, has God forgotten me? And I'm sitting there waiting for the bus, almost about to cry, and I don't want to cry in public. And I turn to my left, and right there it says, "You are not forgotten." And I went like this to God. Because why are you playing with me like that? Like, I was so mad all week, just like cursing him out, like telling him how exasperated I am, how tired I am. I'm in recovery from a lot of stuff. I'm just not in recovery. I'm just not trying to recover my creative self. I'm in recovery from 2.5 years of survival and struggle. I'm in recovery from a emotionally unhealthy and abusive relationship that almost led to my mental breakdown. I used to date a crazy maker. I'm in recovery from being a Black woman who's misunderstood in fucking America, neglected and never protected. I'm in recovery from a lot, and I'm tired. And all I want is to focus on joy, creating, and the opposite of just being in my head all the time. That's the other thing that we had to do this week, is we had to see, like, how was your time spent? And I spend a lot of time in my head. I spend a lot of time planning, thinking, stressing about money instead of creating and taking action. And something that Julia asked us to do this week, she said, write down 10 tiny changes that you want to make. And one of the things that I want to make is I want to be more in my body and less in my head. What else happened this week? My little yeah was acting up. She ain't like that I was ending things, so that turned ugly. I also noticed a thread of me being able to engage in human connection. I made not one person laugh, but like 4 different people laugh, and I connected with random people about God, about struggle, about just life. And that was an interesting through line. Another great thing that happened is on Wednesday during my peer support group, I was able to connect with a fellow Aquarius who's also a writer, and I might have a writing buddy. So there's like these little synchronicities that are happening, right? But at the same time, I'm just still like so exasperated because I don't understand. Don't cry. Please don't cry. I don't understand what's going on. And I need relief. And I said, God, you don't want me to suffer. You don't want me to be this musty, dusty, broke ass hoe. You don't want me to be that. So why are you putting me through this? I'm applying to jobs. I'm trying to hustle. I'm trying to do this, that, and the third. I don't want to ask the internet for money. I don't want to do no GoFundMe. I don't like that feels embarrassing. And I also don't want to ask my mother for money. And it's just like I want my autonomy back, and I don't feel like I have my autonomy, and all I have is time until somebody fucking hires me or something happens. And I feel like me stressing about money is adding like blockage, is adding like this blockage to my creativity. I did come up with a 3-minute set this week about being gay. And I am going to perform that on Wednesday. So, and I did lose 1 follower on Instagram, but I gained about 4 followers across my other social media. I do feel a shift, and I'm not going to give up. I feel I don't know. I don't have the words, but I do feel a shift. Let's go real quick into the check-in. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? I only did it 4 out of 7 days. 3 days this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I had to spend recovering from giving plasma. It depleted my body. I did not look good. Did you do your artist date? Okay, so my artist date, I wanted to do an artist date where I was dancing, and I didn't. What I did this week again was I did collaging. Last video, I ended by saying I didn't know if I was going to do my artist date or not, and I actually did, and it's one of my favorite collages that I have made. This is the reference, and this is the collage, and that's the artist. This is from the artist date that I had last week. And then on Thursday, I was feeling sad, so I did another collage while I listened to comedy specials. And my inner artist really likes that. And so this is the collage that I made. Ooh. And the top part is like the unfinished one. I laid like the foundation for the next collage that I'm gonna do. But this is the results from my artist date. I think it's cool. Collaging is my jam. It's the cheapest thing I could do right now since I don't have money. And I also like put the rest of my artist dates on the calendar. Something significant that happened was on Wednesday, January 7th, and it's the most I have felt like myself. And I woke up with like buku energy and positive and with creative ideas, and I just got up and I just took action without thinking about it. And that's something that Younger Charm would have done too. Like Younger Charm is the person who wouldn't let rain, sleet, or snow stop her from doing anything. And on Wednesday night, I needed to buy paper towels and it was raining. And I walked through the rain to go to Walgreens to get paper towels. And I was happy walking in the rain. I even had a moment where I was like, this is who I am. Like, nothing will stop me ever. And so when I'm not functioning from a place of like nothing's gonna stop me, that scares me because that means that I'm just being negative. So that's all that I remember from week 2. There's like a bunch of other stuff that I wrote in my journal. But that's it.